Hey everyone, it's Dice back again, and today we're talking about a creature called Clayman and his metamorphoses and the design process behind them. So this guy is a very basic looking construct creature, and for that reason I chose him to be kind of the Eevee of the game. So he is going to have a branching metamorphosis into different types. So we're going to start off here with this guy. This is Golem. I decided to name them all as kind of puns on Golem. So this guy is the most punny because he's just got an extra O added on. The others just have limb added onto a word, but I think it actually sounds pretty good when you hear it. This guy is probably my favorite design of the three, because I actually felt like I had some inspiration for this guy. He clicked, and then things just fell together. Originally, I wanted to have a poison one, but I wasn't sure what he should look like. At first, I thought maybe he'll be like, have poison gas or something, and I tried to make like a guy with exhaust fumes and stuff, and it didn't look so good. And then I tried just making one that looked like sludge. His whole body was sludge, but that didn't turn out so well either. So eventually I just happened on this idea, what if he's a toxic waste barrel? It fits the shape that I needed very well, and I think it turned out pretty well. He's got the sludge in him. Inside of his body, he can expel it, obviously. That's how he attacks with his poison. And I think the whole theme of him being a toxic waste barrel just is very fitting for what I'm going for here. So here we go into the colors. The color scheme is also probably my favorite of the three, and I guess that's why I like him all around the best, just because the idea was inspired and the color scheme actually came out pretty well. I tend to have a difficult time picking colors, but the gray, black, and green worked out pretty well, especially when I had the glowing effect for his toxic sludge. The ambient lighting that I add on looks pretty nice with the other colors in there, and you can see that right around here now. There we go, there it goes on. It looks pretty sweet, I think. So there's Golem. Now this guy, I was not quite so happy with. This is Mollum. We call him Mollum because he has a maul in his chest. Like the other guy had kind of a mouth with drooling slime in his chest. This guy's just got a big old toothy maul. There we go. There it is. And the whole theme visually I was going for with this guy is that he's basically like got a worm body. You can see the segments there, and his hands are kind of like some kind of worm mouth, like you'd see on like I don't know what you'd call him, a typical like a sandworm type of thing. But yeah, that's the idea behind this guy. And like I said, I'm not too happy with his design, and most of that I think is just because of the way I drew it, not because of the choices. I think his segments here, like I'm doing right now, those look too much like a coil. It looks like it's wrapped around going upward, and that's not helped by the fact that I gave him like a little wiggly thing on the top like an antenna. But it is supposed to be more like segments, and I might go back in and tweak his design a bit to make the segments less pronounced so they look more like segments rather than a coiled up mess. But this guy, yeah, he's made to look really creepy. It's just supposed to be bizarre. That's what the aberrant type is all about. It's the kind of stuff you'd see in Dungeons & Dragons with like the Beholder and the Mind Flayer and the Aboleth. They call it aberrant as well, and that's the kind of thing we're going for here. That's the typing. And I changed some types like that to make this a little unique from Pokemon to give it a more fantastical and D&D flavor rather than the whole sci-fi type of flavor that they actually have with Pokemon, which is kind of an odd thing to think about, but that is what it is. But anyways, this guy is all about the eye beams here. He's basically a beholder stuck in a construct, and he's got that creepy eye. I played around a lot with his color scheme, and I'll tweak it again here at the end, but I think the color scheme looks alright now, but the rest of him kind of needs another tweaking. Now this guy, this is Xylem, which I think is a pretty nice sounding name. As I said, I like the limb on the end of the words, so that's probably something that'll stick around even through changes. Now this guy ended up taking quite a bit longer to draw than the others, so I might run out of things to talk about here. He's got a lot of lines on him, as you can see. Now obviously I'm going for a crystal look with this guy, and originally what I was thinking is that he'd be a much more smooth type of crystal, like smooth and rounded edged and not faceted like this, but this I think looks a lot better. It has the it holds the shape of the original creature a lot more accurately, so I think that whole idea of the barrel shaped body and the tube limbs, that is going to be carried through on all of his future metamorphoses, and I think that'll be a good way to theme this guy. And I like the little spheres he has for palms on this one, specifically. It's a nice contrast to the whole, the faceted look of the rest of him. Now this is some tricky part. I had to do a little geometry here. Lots of little tweaks and changes, but yeah. This guy, he wasn't difficult to draw, but he did take time. And the shins there, I'm not entirely on board with the way I drew the shins. They look a little too different than the rest of the body, and I might go back and tweak that once, if I decide to. But as of now, it's not bad enough for me to go back and change it. It might need to be that way for the design to come together, just because of the way legs look. And then we're going with a typical pink and purple coloration, which is pretty common for psionic creatures that I have going on right now. I'll have to kind of get away from that a little bit in the future, but for now, I have a hard enough time coming up with good color schemes for things. So this guy is a little different in this aspect. He doesn't really have like a mouth kind of thing in his chest, but he does have this kind of vortex, like a portal, and this goes along with his abilities. He's kind of a teleporter guy, so having all their mouths are supposed to function as like compartments inside of them that you can use to carry extra stuff. So him having like a portal to like a bag of holding kind of thing, that's very fitting for him. But here is the creature sheets for these guys. We have Golem. Obviously, he's construct and poison. Now the name after that, the synthetic there, that's actually the kind of like the equivalent of the egg group. Synthetic ones obviously don't reproduce, they're man-made. But besides that, this guy's got the Spitter class. He can shoot toxic goo. And we have Mollum here, the Aberrant type. He's got the Gazer class, and of course that means he can shoot eye beams and stuff like that. Let's see. They've also got the Golem and Juggernaut classes from the last form, the original Clayman. He only has 2, so whenever they do metamorphosis, they gain an extra class. So Xylem here, he has the Nomad class. Like I said, he's all about teleporting and stuff like that. He can teleport around the battlefield, he can swap places with enemies, and just, it's all about positioning for him. So he can get in, get good positioning, flank with his allies real easily. And that's it for them. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time.